A network effect is something where a product becomes more valuable as it scales its users. So as the volume of a product, which is an amazing thing. So usually as you scale volume, quality suffers. As you get bigger, you worry that you're going to be delivering less quality. But if you build a business that has network effects, the opposite holds true. As you get bigger, you deliver more value. The classic example of this is Skype or WhatsApp or any communication tool. So if there is only, if I tell everybody right now that, hey, I just built Ravi app. It's exactly like WhatsApp. It's technically identical. Everybody should use it. Nobody's going to join Ravi app, even though I'm technically identical to WhatsApp, because the network is on WhatsApp, and the value is the network. Or if, for example, with Skype, if there is only one person on Skype, you can make 0 calls. If there's 2 people, you can make 1 call. If there's 3, you can make 3. If there's 4, you can make 6. Every extra node that gets added to the network increases the number of connections, and that's generally referred to as Metcalfes Law, where the value of a communication platform is a proxy to the square of the nodes. Okay? And so that's why communication-driven platforms like Skype or WhatsApp can be incredibly powerful. Others have calculated the value not just as the square of the nodes, but also as an exponential, as a 2 to the n value based on the permutations of the subgroups. So if you look at the value of Facebook based on all the multitude of subgroups that can emerge, you get an even greater response. But the idea here is that if you build a business with network effects, every single additional node creates more value for each individual user. And just to show you how powerful this is, if you look at Facebook, this is Facebook, and it is impressive how quickly Facebook grew. So Facebook grew at an impressive rate, and that is the red line that you see there at the bottom. But what's even more impressive is the green dots are their revenue. And the line next to the green dots is a proxy of Metcalfes Law, that exponential growth that we were showing. So as impressive as their user growth was, what was even more impressive was that their revenue was growing exponentially because of the network effects that are inherent in a social network. To juxtapose that, there's other great companies or great phenomenon. This is Angry Birds. You guys know Angry Birds, right? Angry Birds is a single-player mode game phenomenon. So if I'm playing Angry Birds, that does not increase the value of your Angry Birds experience. It is your Angry Birds experience does not increase with the volume of the users. And so Angry Birds was amazing, but it was completely linear in terms of its revenue was just a function of how many people downloaded it. It didn't become more valuable at scale. Okay? So thinking about how you can build businesses with network effects can also be very powerful. And these, again, occur really whenever there's a positive feedback loop. That can be communication, like Skype or WhatsApp or any social network that we've talked about. It can be a marketplace. So Craigslist or eBay are classic examples of really hard businesses to displace, even though the technology is very, very basic, because there's liquidity of buyers and sellers together on this common marketplace. Or it can be a platform like the Apple operating system, where developers are building on top of every developer that adds to Apple's operating system extends the functionality of the operating system, which then also creates more value for everybody that's involved. And so there's a type of marketplace that happens with platforms.